Coming up around the corner on the San Francisco 49ers Report by Chat Sports, another News and Rumors Mailbag, where I take questions from all of our loyal subscribers who are the absolute best and helped us eclipse 60,000 subscribers. But not only are we doing video mediums on YouTube as well as Rumble, we have entered the podcasting fray. And after our live shows every single Tuesday, we go live on Callin, which is a live audio interactive podcasting space, which is like Twitter Spaces, but even better. I want all of you watching right now to not only join our next live podcast, but subscribe to the 49ers Report on Callin by plugging in that link at the bottom of your screen. It's chatsports.com/49erscallin. Start off this mailbag with this question coming in from Anthony. It's a $5 super chat. I'm not as much of a Jimmy Garoppolo fan, but I just get the feeling even if starting as a backup quarterback, I'm not really sure what you're trying to say there. You're not a big Jimmy Garoppolo fan, but you don't have confidence in the backup quarterback position. I understand that. Here's my problem with Jimmy Garoppolo as a backup. $26.9 million for his cap hit is exorbitant for a backup quarterback to get paid that high of a salary. Those are my only concerns. Now, would I want Jimmy Garoppolo on a lesser salary as a backup quarterback as compared to Nate Sudfeld, who I frankly don't think is all that good? Of course, that would be ideal. Would I want Jimmy Garoppolo and his contract to get restructured? Yes, but he's not going to restructure his contract going into the final year of his deal. He has the leverage when it comes to that restructure. Paid Ace, where do you think DeMeco Ryans ranks among other defensive coordinators? I saw this Pro Football Focus article ranking the top 10 defensive coordinators and defensive play callers in the NFL. No DeMeco Ryans. Kind of criminal if you ask me. Why? Because last year, after the 3-5 start, I thought DeMeco Ryans schematically did some awesome things. With his blitz packages, with his secondary disguises, he did it without a number one cornerback. They had to sign Josh Norman and Dre Kirkpatrick at times. Emmanuel Mosley was their number one corner, and he certainly played really well in that role. Did not give up a touchdown in coverage. But DeMeco Ryans is no doubt a top 10 defensive play caller. That's why he got a couple of interviews with the Minnesota Vikings before backing out of that gig. I think he's one of the best defensive coordinators in the sport, and I think this is going to be his last year as defensive coordinator for San Francisco because I think he's going to get a head coaching gig. Has leadership qualities, really good communication, has the respect from his players, and I love what he did last year with the interchanging of players along that defensive line. The substitution patterns were really good. Having Eric Armstead go from edge to defensive tackle unleashed him, where the back half of the year he was fantastic. Arden Key got paid by the Jaguars because of him playing defensive tackle. So DeMeco Ryans, he's certainly up there with some of the best defensive coordinators in the game. Hunter Morris, what do you think the biggest struggle will be in the absence of Mike McDaniel? I'm interested to see what the run game looks like because he was the creative mind behind that run game. And according to a lot of people who I've talked to, the schematic draw up of Deebo Samuel's run plays were credited a lot to Mike McDaniel. And I imagine that he put his creative fingerprints on the pass game as well. I'm interested to see what the Miami Dolphins do. If Mike McDaniel, who's gotten the best out of a lot of quarterbacks throughout his coaching career, Matt Ryan, Robert Griffin III, C.J. Beathard, Nick Mullins, Jimmy Garoppolo, goes to Miami and extracts the best out of Tua Tagovailoa, my gosh, I mean, credit to him. But yeah, those are a couple of areas that I'm a little bit concerned about by losing Mike McDaniel. But you did replace him with Anthony Lynn, who's certainly respected, especially as a former running back. But Mike McDaniel, his loss is going to be felt. I don't think there's any question about it. Let me put you to the test with this question in the comment section, grub, and make sure you get your votes in down below. If you could have one meal for the rest of your life, what would it be? Now that I moved to Texas and we're based out of Dallas here at Chat Sports, Tex-Mex is pretty hard to turn down. My gosh, it's really good. But I think about a filet mignon steak, so good. Pittsburgh style on some nice ribeye or, a little bit of bison. My goodness, I think about all that, I start to salivate. You let me know, what would it be? Get your votes in the comment section right now. Hanif Razak, next up on our mailbag. How many touchdowns and yards will Trey Lance throw for as well as rush for in 2022? Okay, let's say that he throws for 3,800 yards. He throws for 26 touchdowns, and he runs for 8 more. So that gives you 34 combined touchdowns and a little less than 4,000 passing yards. I think that's pretty good. How many yards does he rush for? Hopefully it's actually not that many because I want to see him grow as a passer. Fryer, Chase, please answer this. Do you all believe in our backup quarterbacks? No. I don't really believe in Nate Sudfeld. I don't really believe in Brock Purdy. And are we putting in Jimmy Garoppolo as a backup quarterback? Because right now, if he were to join the Niners and he were to practice, I think he would be the number 2 behind Trey Lance. And I think that he would be a good backup quarterback. But once again, it's him and that price tag. That worries me just a bit with that cap hit. So if Garoppolo is the backup, he's probably the best backup quarterback in the NFL. I don't think that's crazy to say. Guy has played in 2 NFC championship games and won 71% of his starts with a large sample size. If it's not him and it's Nate Sudfeld, I don't trust it all that much. Now, a lot of the pressure on the 49ers to win games in 2022 is going to be on Trey Lance. So what do you think the Niners' record is going to be this upcoming season? You let me know. I think San Francisco wins 10 games, and that'll get them into the playoffs once again. And once you get there, you get into the big dance. You punch your ticket to the playoffs. Anything can happen. Make sure you subscribe to us on Callin, an audio social podcasting app that, hey, you can say whatever you want, unfiltered, raw content, exclusive content on the Call-In app as well. We'll be going live every Tuesday after our live shows air on YouTube as well as Rumble. What's the best feature about it? You get to call into the show like a sports talk radio show, like you're listening to The Game or KNBR in the San Francisco Bay Area. Subscribe, chatsports.com/49ers Call-In. It's been an absolute blast to hear all of your voices, take all of your calls, and chop it up with the faithful. Little dude, wow. I think Drake Jackson will be in the top 10 to 15 rookies that will make a sudden impact. See, what I also like about our mailbags, you don't have to ask a question. You can just chime in with a hot take like that. So 10 to 15 rookies that will make a sudden impact. I think what the Niners envision him doing, and you look at what he did last year, they want him ideally to become the next D Ford. And if he becomes the next D Ford, who had about 9 good games before he started to get injured and was paid a lot for those 9 games, I think that your bang for the buck will be certainly worth it, and you get him at 61 overall, 6 sacks last year with USC. You play on the other side of Nick Bosa, 17 hurries, 8 tackles for loss, 1 forced fumble. The physical attributes are certainly there, and I think the one-on-one opportunities for him to win some battles in the trenches will be there as well. How many sacks will Drake Jackson have as a rookie? Good job by producer Coop for cooking up that question on the fly. You'll let me know. I'm going to set the over-under at about 5.5. BV50, Chase, how do you think Mostert will do in Miami? If he stays healthy, I think he'll do pretty well. Has elite speed, pull-away speed. He's one of the fastest players in the NFL. Mike McDaniel, and his forte is certainly that run game because he comes from the Kyle Shanahan coaching tree. He's also creative with finding creative run plays to call at opportune times. And if Mostert can stay healthy, he is certainly at the good graces of Mike McDaniel. McDaniel really likes him as a player. That's been the case for a couple of years now. He just has to stay healthy, and if he does, he could win that RB1 spot in Miami, I think. Chris, is Kyle Shanahan a top 3 coach? Man, this is really hard. I would say no. Who are the top 3 at this point? It's like an impossible conversation to have. It changes every single year. I still think Bill Belichick has to be up there, even though I have some questions about what they're doing offensively, especially if they have Matt Patricia or Joe Judge as an offensive coordinator. That's crazy. Sean Payton no longer in the league, so that enters another guy in there. Sean McVay has to be in that conversation. The jury is certainly out, but Kyle Shanahan, at moments, I think has been one of the best coaches in the NFL. Right now, I think he's certainly top 10. Jamie Bryant, when do you think we move on from Jimmy G, and does he get traded or just get cut? The Jimmy saga needs to end. Yeah, I agree. I think it's best for both parties to move on. If there's any chance that he agrees to a contract restructure, then I wouldn't mind having him back, but I don't think he agrees to a contract restructure. When do they move on from him? I think Trey Lance might have to prove throughout a week or 2 of training camp that he is indeed it, and he can be that guy, but we will certainly see. Kevin, last question in this mailbag. Opposite of Bosa, D. Jackson pulls in at least 12 sacks this year. Kevin, if Drake Jackson has 12 sacks as a rookie, I will do 20 push-ups and shotgun a beer consecutively on the 49ers report. That's a bold take, but I absolutely love it. Appreciate you for sending that in. Last question in this mailbag. Who will rep the NFC in the Super Bowl this year? Super Bowl 53. Will it be the Niners? Will it be another team? You let me know and chime in the comment section right now. Let me know if you think the 49ers can do it.